ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. God created one couple in the beginning, Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve. Why didn't he populate the entire world to start with? If you can do one, you can do 100. Mr. Ford, Henry Ford taught us, if you can make one car, you can make 1,000. Why didn't he have an assembly line? Maybe for many reasons. But maybe one of the most important reasons is that we are all descendants of that first couple. Adam and Chava, we all come from them, and that's it. The Torah tells us that Adam and Chava had two sons, Cain and Hevel, Cain and Abel. But a terrible thing happened. One day, Cain killed Abel. Cain killed Hevel. Hevel apparently was not married. The Torah does not record it. But Cain, yes. Cain had children. So whose descendants are we? We are really the children of a murderer, of Cain. But the Torah says that Adam and Chava had other children later on. One of them, Seth in English, Shet in Hebrew. And maybe we are the descendants of him. But if you keep on reading the Torah, God somehow dislikes us. He sees that humanity is going the wrong way. He says there's no future with these human beings. I am going to destroy them all, and that's it. However, there was one man and his immediate family that found favor in the eyes of God. That was Noah, his wife and children. So God says, you know what? I am going to bring a deluge on the entire earth. Mabul. Everything is going to die. However, only this man, Noah, am I going to save. He instructs him to make an ark. Noah saves himself and his family. So in a sense, we were the descendants of Adam and Chava. And then we became the descendants maybe of Cain, or of the murder. Now we are the descendants of this man Noah. What about Noah himself? According to the Torah, the listing of the generations, Noah is a child of Shet. So we are really the descendants of Seth, the other son of Adam and Chava, and not of Cain. But wait, we're not finished. The Midrash says, who was the wife of this Noah? And they identify a woman by the name of Naamah. Some say she was something else, but many rabbis say that that was the wife of Noah. She's not mentioned by name in the Torah. And she was a descendant of Cain. So in a sense, we are really the children of, on the one hand, Seth, Shet in Hebrew, and of this woman, Naamah. In other words, from Cain also. Is there any wonder that there are wars in this world? Is there any wonder that there is destruction, that we always destroy one another? Because on the one hand, Shet may have been, Seth must have been a very peaceful man. On the other hand, Cain is a destroyer. He is a murderer. But the Torah says something else also. He's the first one to build a city, Cain. His descendants are the first ones to create music. They fabricate arms. You know, Cain is a destroyer, but he's also a builder. And think for a moment, how do you build? In order to build, sometimes you have to erase something else. You have to destroy. How do you make bread? Well, you take a grain, wheat, but then you make some kind of dust of that grain. You combine it with water. You're actually destroying it. You're molding it, and you make something else. You know, it seems that creation, unfortunately, many a time, requires destruction as well. Meddling with nature. Why do we meddle with nature? You know, there was a very smart Roman who was in contact. His name was Rufus. He was in contact with Rabbi Akiva, and he said, why do you people circumcise yourself? If God wanted you to circumcise yourself, he should have created you already circumcised. Why do you do that? So he answered, well, the example of the bread, God created nature that has abundance, but yet in order to make bread, you have to do something yourself. You have to contribute to it. This is what it says in the beginning, Asher bara Elokim la'asot, that God created. La'asot means to do. In a sense, God invited man to be his partner in building the world. God did not build a perfect world. He built an unfinished world. We are supposed to give added value to what God has created already. So in a sense, we circumcise ourselves to show that there's something to do. The Torah says, and many believe so, that illness comes because God will send some bad things to you because you're not behaving well. In other words, if you're ill, it's because God willed it. So should you interfere with God? No, the answer we give is God does his part, but you're supposed to do your part. You're supposed to heal. God told you to heal. He will send you a punishment because of something you did, but then you can go and try to alleviate, to undermine, if you will, the will of God in this sense. He gave you this power as well. So I want to tell you that we may be the children of Shet, but we also have a tremendous ingredient of Cain, because in order to build, somehow you have to modify and destroy. But it depends what you do. Is your purpose destroying the world, or are you using nature in order to make a better world? And I think that is the difference. Our rabbis say if it were not for the inclination to do something wrong, we would never build a house, we would never get married. It depends what you do with the drives that you have. Maybe Cain gave us a tremendous drive. It depends if we can domesticate this drive, if we can somehow humanize it, if we can use it for the betterment of society.